but it's like sometimes you just got to throw some things out there, throw some spaghetti on the wall, and
totally
see what sticks. And no,
I
that's
think
awesome.
you mean throw some creepy pasta at the wall.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, creepypasta. Yes. Forever hail creepypasta.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
See dead people.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Here's Johnny.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Welcome to Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Nikisha, and this is Talking Horror with Jamie.
And Nikisha.
Where we share our love for all things scary and talk horror through the lens of human behavior. Welcome, everyone. Jamie's got her lenses on. I got mine on. Brian's about to put his on. That's what I'm talking about.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble. Well, the reason why he's saying that, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. So, gobble, gobble. Yes, exactly that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So happy holidays. And as you sit around the table with friends and or family with some good food, maybe some good drink, preparing for your traditional seance, maybe, let's remember the lessons of the 2020 supernatural horror film Host has taught us. And if you forgot, we're here to talk about it.
If you're trying to give us a sign, please knock one more time. I'm so sorry. It must be my delivery. I'm really sorry. I'll be back in a second.
So that's what we're here to do, so that you don't get hosted.
Don't get hosted.
Don't get hosted. Gobble, gobble. So Host, not The Host or Hosts, because there's multiple movies by that
There
name.
are. And The Host is an excellent movie, but we're not talking about that today.
Good to know, because I have not seen The Host. But Host, singular, is directed by Rob Savage and is written by Savage, Gemma Hurley, and Jed Shepard, and it stars Haley Bishop, Radina Drendova, Gemma Moore, Caroline Ward, Emma Webb, and Edward Leonard, which is funny because every one of these uses their names in the movie except for the guy.
Yeah, whatever.
Who's Teddy is in the movie, but his real name is Edward. So heavy spoilers if you have not seen Host. And Jamie, please hit us with those trigger warnings.
Bow.
Yes. If you hate Zoom.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, for real.
If you only have the free version of Zoom that only lets you have a call for 50 minutes.
Yes.
If you hate references of like the COVID lockdown, because this is like peak. This is July 2020.
Yes.
If you hate uncomfortable friendship dynamics, if you hate those like filters on faces, like Snapchat filters, or like moving backgrounds, like setting your own background, creepy music boxes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, not a fan of that. Using cameras as flashlights.
Yes.
I hate that.
Yes.
There's some blood. You don't see like a lot of it, but you do see some. You see a couple like scary creatures for like very few seconds.
Yes.
Also like seances. I feel like I should have led with that one.
Yeah.
Seances, speaking with the supernatural, demons, spirits, mediums. Yes.
Also, somebody gets caught on fire.
Yes.
At the end, yeah. But I think is that all of it?
I think
More
so.
or less, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Whatever you can get into, what kooky things you can get into talking to ghosts, you know?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah, kooky things.
Just kooky things, you know? Great. So before we get into everything that is host, producer Brian is going to give us some words.
Absolutely.
Words.
Hi, everybody. I'll be
Words.
your host for this segment.
Ooh.
Also, when we picked this movie because we didn't want to. We did Thanksgiving last year. The movie. There wasn't anything that really like sparked our interest Thanksgiving wise from other horror movies. So we brainstormed and we were like Friendsgiving, and this is a Friends movie for better or worse. But not for the movie, for those friends. But hi everybody. Hi YouTube.
Hi.
What I was gonna say is when we picked this movie, I didn't even realize that it was called like host is also a perfect title for like this week of Thanksgiving.
That's true. Yes.
But anyway, hi YouTube. Hi everybody listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. We really appreciate you tuning in. Like, it's kind of crazy that you're listening to us while eating turkey dinner with your family. That's crazy.
So wild.
Wow, you're wild. Thank you so much.
Right. But thanks.
And then if
We're
you're
the
just
perfect
like
side to, your turkey and gravy.
absolutely.
Yes.
Maybe with a main course at your dinner. Bow. But lost my train of thought there for a second, but it's back. Something I do want to remind the people that if you're like, wow, this podcast is so good, I wish they did more. Well, we do on social media at Talk Horror Pod. You can find us on TikTok and on Instagram. Those are our two major places, and then of course you can find us on YouTube. You can watch these episodes. We also do shorts and fun things like that, so check us out there. But we also like to read reviews that we get, and so I am going to read a review to you that I'm very excited about because we love to read them. If you comment a really nice comment on a YouTube video, if you write a comment on Spotify, or if you review us on Apple Podcasts, it really helps us with the algorithm. But however, we love it. We love reading this and these nice things you say to us.
Please say nice things.
Please say nice things.
We beg
Please
of you.
say nice
Please.
things.
Oh God, please. All right, so this one is a recent one. It was a YouTube comment from Ariane. Thank you so much. I hope I'm saying your name right, but we really appreciate it. Ariane said, "Hi, I am usually a silent listener. I usually listen to you folks on YouTube Music, the app, but I sometimes enjoy watching you when I do the dishes." Laughing emoji. Love the podcast. Keep going. That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate that.
That's
Yeah.
for your YouTube. The hearts. If you're watching, I gave you some hearts.
If you're doing dishes.
Right.
Doing dishes is a perfect time for podcasts.
Agree.
Yeah.
That and a long drive.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you do like an episode of a podcast and some music to just like switch it up and then back to a podcast. Yeah, totally. Cool. Awesome. That's all I had to say about that. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Now, more show.
Yes. Actually, just speaking of listening to podcasts, we were talking last time we recorded about the Halloween H2O and how sad that I was that I didn't get a chance to be a part of that episode, but I watched the movie, and I just have to say I listened to the podcast, and the amount of times I was just yelling and screaming of, yes, I thought the same thing, and it made me have FOMO even more. But I'm bringing it up because we talked about the problem with Michael Myers' mask. And so I just wanted to say, now I am in on it. I agree. Just the make of the mask, how it has like 90s eyebrows. And it's like, what are we doing? The eye holes, like where you can just see the actual person behind the mask more. And it's flimsy. And I just want to say, that it just really weirded me out. But I also want to add that it also had the Josh Hartnett awful haircut too. And I think that adds to why the mask was not satisfying.
Sure. Fair.
Yes.
But
I also
the more I think
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying the more I think about it, the more the score really messed that movie up for me.
Yeah, and I didn't
Hmm.
realize either. Matt was talking about how half of the score was from Scream.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. My ghost is thumbs up or thumbsing down, whatever's happening. But yes, that's crazy to me, and I never would have put two and two together in that respect. But
Yeah, totally.
no, it was wild. And then when Jamie mentioned Michelle Williams' eyebrows, I absolutely lost it because I also agree. It's like, what are we doing here? But
Iconic for that time.
it's very iconic, and it's very of the time because it's what 98. So yeah,
Mhm.
totally get it.
Yeah,
And
something like
Jamie, you
that.
also mentioned your parents not letting you tweeze your eyebrows, and thank
Mhm.
God for that because my mom did make me, and now I have no eyebrows.
Oh no.
I am a victim of the 90s tweezed eyebrows. So now I'm like forever trying to put every kind of serum on my eyebrows to try to grow them out
Mhm.
again because I plucked them to death. But here we are. Things happen for a reason, I guess. But I did want to ask, did y'all watch anything new this week?
I watched two things.
Yes.
I watched an early screener of the movie Dust Bunny.
Oh.
It was directed by and written by Brian Fuller. You may know Brian Fuller from creating and writing Pushing Daisies. He also was the showrunner of Hannibal on TV. Um, and this movie is awesome, and it is a perfect combination of Pushing Daisies and Hannibal. It stars Mad Mikkelsen as an assassin who helps the little girl across the hall get rid of the monster underneath her bed. It is really fun. It is not. It's a kids horror movie that is not for kids. David Dastmalchian is in it. Sigourney Weaver is in it. It's a really good cast. It moves along. It's really fun. The CGI is cartoonish on purpose. And it's vivid colors, it's tone. This was very much up my alley. I was a huge fan of Pushing Daisies. I really liked Hannibal. I love Brian Fuller. I think he is just whatever he does, I'm interested in. It comes out December 5th, I believe. So definitely check that out in theaters. And then I watched a YouTube horror movie called Faye. It's a found footage horror movie called Faye that came out this year. It is about the plot is actually very vague. This woman is a part of a trauma study, and she went through some sort of an incident, and she's recording what she's going through, and she feels like she's being watched by somebody. I'm going to be totally honest. I thought there were really great moments of scares, and I think the vibe was awesome. I think that the movie tries to be scarier than it actually is by like withholding information from you, and like, no, you need to fill in the blanks for me as a viewer.
Yeah.
And honestly, I had to like remember what it was even about when like preparing for this episode. Because I just kind of forgot the plot because it's very. I remember the visuals and some of the scares and like how it was presented, but like plot wise. So it's on YouTube. So it's called Fey, Fey. If you have some time, totally watch it. This thing is not long at all.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what the runtime was.
Now the runtime's like 53 minutes. It's like literally the same as Host.
Great. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy
So like
peasy.
I think it's really cool to support independent horror like this. Even if it like isn't totally my thing. Here's the thing about these people who made this movie. This makes me excited to watch what they're going to do next because they have a good handle on like the scares and the vibe, and I think with a stronger kind of like narrative, I think they could do wonders.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are the two things I watched.
Yeah, I find it interesting just thinking of what new things can arrive in the horror movie genre. But it's like sometimes you just got to throw some things out there, throw some spaghetti on the wall, and
Yeah, totally.
see what sticks and
Yeah.
see what works and what doesn't. But no,
I
that's
think
awesome.
you mean throw some creepy pasta at the wall.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, creepypasta. Yes. Forever hail creepypasta. Well, I didn't watch anything new, but I rewatched The Substance, and this was only my second time watching it. And we always talk about rewatchability with things.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was definitely a really good rewatch, even though you know what's going to happen. I feel like time might have also been a help because it's been a minute since I saw it because I saw it when it first came out.
Yeah.
So just but God, that makeup is just so stinking good, and it will forever be like Eliza Sue will always, or Eliza Sue will always just be a masterpiece in like practical makeup and things.
So, what about the rewatch stood out to you? I'm very curious.
Yeah, what stood out in the rewatch, I feel like I wasn't paying attention to the story necessarily. I just kind of let myself settle in on the visuals, like we talked about in our podcast episode Watch, because we covered The Substance. The color, the different uses of color, especially immediate light to dark, and just how the framing of things, close-ups versus mid shots versus wide shots, and how that helped carry the story along without even necessarily having a lot of dialogue, especially. And I feel like during this rewatch, I felt like there really wasn't a lot of dialogue that happened. It really was a visual movie, and it's showing you everything that you need to know about what's going on. Which I really appreciated. And then I just, at the end of it, just got so mad all over again that Demi didn't win the Oscar for that.
I thought about that the other day. Like, when I'm thinking about performances from last year, like, I don't think of Mickey Madsen. As much as I thought that movie was good, don't get me wrong, but like, that's a shame. The Oscar going to Mickey Madsen felt like what this movie was literally trying to say.
Exactly. Which is why it made me mad all over again, because she is literally living out in real life what has happened in this movie. But I'm happy that the general consensus with like the people is that she did an amazing job, and that was a movie that stuck out that year, which sometimes that's, can be better than the actual win, when it's always like you're the one that everyone wanted to win but didn't. But I mean, of course, still you want to win.
Yeah, that's nice, but I don't have a statue in my home.
Exactly. And she's been going on for how long? And she doesn't have not nary
any
an
hardware.
Oscar.
Well, no, I think she has a Golden Globe now or whatever, or SAG.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But anyway, it's definitely a great rewatch. It's on Max if you're interested in it. But yeah, it's just so good. But you guys are here for host, and we're going to give it to you. But first, we have to give a 2-minute plot summary. Well, Brian has to give a 2-minute plot summary. Jamie's going to time him.
Heck yeah.
And I
I'm
feel
not
like 2 minutes is
surprised
more than
today
enough.
because I remembered.
Oh, well, good.
That's good. Making progress.
Yes.
What's the plot?
All right, Brian. You have 2 minutes on the clock, which is more than the 50 minutes that you get for the free version of Zoom. Are you ready?
Yes.
Great. Ready, steady, go.
Host is about women during lockdown who host a seance over Zoom. So the main girl, Haley, is American, and everyone else is British. I just point that out because I have the time. They bring a reader basically to lead the seance onto their Zoom. This is in July 2020. This is during lockdown. And her friend decides to joke around, and that she heard her friend Jack, who offed himself, and that speaking to her. Anyway, that was a disrespectful thing to the spirits, and it let something nefarious through, and this nefarious being is taking them out one by one in very creative ways, which I hope we talk about those. And in the end, it gets them all. which is unfortunate. Somebody dies. Somebody dies. Um, by getting burned alive. Somebody dies by going out a window. Somebody dies. Two women die by being. It's the end, so we think they're attacked by it. Um, uh, Someone. How does Regina die? Her boyfriend falls from the ceiling.
And she like falls down. It looks like she falls downstairs or something, but she
Yeah,
falls.
she
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And I think that's everybody. Oh, and the other one gets bashed into their computer. And yeah, and then they all die, and the credits are really clever in that they're like the Zoom participants. And this movie does not have a title card. There is no title card, which makes it really feel like you have not watched a movie. You have literally watched a Zoom experience. This thing is under an hour. I'm gonna end it there.
Nice.
Host.
And that's the plot.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's get into our the end. And they all lived happily never after. So let's get into our first segment, Trick or Treat, where we let you know right off the top, was it a trick? We hated it, or we don't know how we feel about it, or was this a treat, an absolute gobble gobble delight?
Trick. Treat.
So, Jamie, I don't know what's going on with me today.
Gobble gobble.
Gobble gobble. Trick or a treat,
Gobble,
Jamie?
Gobble. This was a gobble gobble treat.
Yeah, I'll say the same. Gobble gobble treat for me. And producer Brian, what about you?
Gobble gobble treat.
Woohoo! All right, let's talk about why we all enjoyed this movie with our likes and gripes.
And now our likes and gripes.
And let us know, is this your first time watching it? Have you seen it before? What's your past experience with this movie? Jamie, why don't you start us off?
Sure. I saw this movie like, man, now I can't remember, but I feel like it was pretty soon after it came out. Right, Brian?
Yeah, we saw it pretty. I want to say immediately.
Because again, this was like in lockdown, so we also were.
Yeah, so I was checking
home.
my Letterboxd, but I didn't have Letterboxd in 2020, so I don't know the actual date. But yeah, we watched it pretty soon as it came out on Shudder. Whenever it came out on Shudder, we watched it like that week.
Yeah. And I've seen it a couple times now, but this is a great rewatchable movie.
Agreed.
It's, first of all, it is 56 minutes.
Ooh, we love to see it.
This movie is short, fast, easy to swallow. It's just like quick and dirty, and it's not, there's like no slow moments, but there's also like enough exposition that you get to like ground the movie before like things just start ramping up. It has some great tension building moments. Even when you're expecting something, it still gets you. Brian and I were talking about the end of the movie where you literally see the countdown happen, because this is what happens when you have the free version of Zoom.
Yes.
It counts down in the application how much longer you can continue talking to somebody, and then it will end the call abruptly if you don't pay for it. And so you see the timer going down while the two women are walking down the hallway with the camera, and like the camera's flashing. And I literally was counting down while we were watching it. Because it's literally that last second when like you see the monster. But it's still scary. It's still like, it still gets you.
Very much.
Because it's not silly, because you only see it for like a half a second. Like it gets you, and it's not like this like lingering like, oh, I see the fake makeup or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah,
agreed. Anytime that they show any like evil spirit thing, it's truly like a single second. And I think that makes it scarier. I always
And
think it's scarier when you like don't see the monsters really.
agreed. I also would say having it over Zoom and whatever that camera, um, thing is helps with the monsters because you're not seeing a clear view of the picture, right? You're seeing it through like the warped camera lens over Zoom. So that also adds
Yeah.
to like, even if it was a CGI or whatever, you can't really tell because of
Mm-hmm.
how the picture comes across.
Yeah, like it, they do a really good job at putting the like mechanics of being on a computer in.
Mhm.
What are those movies called? Something Life,
Screen Life.
Screen Life. Thank you. I always
Mm-hmm.
forget. But yeah, I think the Screen Life movies are fun.
Oh yeah, Screen Life for
Just because,
life.
like, yeah,
Screen Life.
I
I
think
love those movies.
I I think that you know, I know for some people it can maybe be annoying, but I think when it's done well, it's like it really adds to the atmosphere of what, you're trying to get out of that. Um, the thing that I love most about this movie is that because, there were quarantine restrictions during the filming of this, the director was directing everybody remotely and they were in charge of all of their own stuff. So like they had to, manage their cameras, their lighting, their sound, their makeup, their stunts. Um, a lot of things were practical effects. The practical effects were like managed by the actors. And like learned how to like make things fly off shelves and stuff. Like all of that is just it makes me very hopeful for art in general.
Yes.
That like there's still so much value in that, and the fact that like it's the actors learning how to do all of this stuff because of like operating under these restrictions, that you're still able to make a really good scary movie, even with all of the limitations and like resources that you might not normally have access to.
Yeah, I also
So
really
yeah.
liked um that they kept their same first names. It was like
Mhm.
it was kind of like they set up everything, so it was kind of like honoring like them as actors, like that they
Mhm.
did everything for their own Zoom. I don't. There's
Yeah.
something very meta satisfying about it because of all the like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Um Also apparently they all participated in a seance over Zoom before filming. And a lot of it was improv.
That
And on
makes
top of
sense.
that, the director was like DMing them like things to say sometimes for certain
Sure.
moments. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel like the production of this movie is like so impressive to me. In this, especially now where there's so much of a push for like AI stuff, that I'm just like, this is this is this is like really important to be able to
Mm-hmm.
like honor the craft of doing things in this way, and it's still really effective. um I think like the relationship dynamics are really interesting because even though there are those moments where like there is tension and like, Gemma kind of seems like the most obnoxious one in the group, given that she like kind of kickstarts
Mm-hmm.
some of the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
um the fact that then she leaves to go check on Haley, like literally like breaks into her house to find
Mm-hmm.
her. I feel like there is this like moment where normally I would be like, I don't care what happens to her, like, she could die and like I
Yes.
won't feel badly
Sure.
about it. But
Yeah,
then it's
yeah.
like, oh, okay, like she does genuinely care, and like whatever tension that they had before is like erased due to like this act of bravery. And
Mm-hmm.
so then it like does make you feel bad again.
Sure.
Yes, agreed.
And I like how different all of the kills are,
Yeah.
while also kind of like being grounded to the little breadcrumbs of context that you get beforehand. So like, the girl who is using the Snapchat filters, and then all of a sudden, like, one of the filters is like in the background and
Floating.
it moves to face her.
Yes.
Or like the woman who like filmed that background loop of herself.
Yeah.
And then you don't see her anymore. And then all of a sudden you just see her face being slammed in. And then what I also find really funny about that kill is because her face is slamming into the keyboard, at the bottom of like a Zoom call. For those unfamiliar with Zoom, although I feel like everyone at this point knows Zoom, at the bottom there's like a little like chat button that you can click where the chat comes up on the side. If you don't have it open, it'll just show little notifications of recent messages. And so every time her face was hitting the keyboard, a bunch of just like gibberish was being typed into the chat because that's where her face was hitting the keyboard. But it's just like another little detail that really adds to like what's happening in that moment. And also like the kill with Teddy was really interesting because you could have just been like, all right, guess he's like not coming back, whatever. And then he comes back and like, he's sneaking through this house. He goes outside, his girlfriend gets yoinked and then killed. And then I was like, how did they do that? And then he finds the music box that he was talking about his brother tormenting him with, and then he gets set on fire. But yeah, the kills in this. Yeah. Oh, and Radina's the one with the boyfriend who falls.
Yes.
Oh my God, that one's a great one because it's just like there's this conversation that's happening, and like right as it like reaches like the climax of the conversation, he just falls, smacks on like fully splats on the ground, and then everybody is all like collectively freaking out. So it's like, again, the pacing with the kills are really well orchestrated.
And like, to jump off of that for just a second, this movie does an outstanding job of including all of those very, if you will, stereotypical Zoom things, but making them feel organic in the movie. Like, I never once was like, oh, they're doing this. Like, everything that Jamie mentioned that ties in directly to their kills, and the other things, like he has a man bun, this idea that like he's growing his hair out during quarantine, or a house tour, like that's what you would do. And like,
do
all
you
of
want the house
tour, I can take you to the first, second, third.
That is truly what I thought of when you said that.
I also like the all the characters. Like, I like that the two of them live near each other. This movie just set up so wonderfully, and it doesn't feel like we spent an hour getting to know where all the pieces are. Rob Savage sets up all of the pieces so quickly and so organically, and then we just get right into it. And I think that is just like, that's one of the true successes of this movie for sure. Absolutely. And then tying them all into their deaths totally is just like killer.
Yeah. Other thoughts, Jamie?
No, I think that's it. I really enjoyed this movie. It's just a fun time. That's why I've watched it a couple times since it first came out.
Yeah. I'll piggyback off of that because I've watched this a couple of times as well, and still every time. So I agree with you, Jamie, just about the timing and the pacing of everything and the rewatchability of it, because I still got so scared at a lot of the things. One thing I do want to comment on is, because this movie was filmed how it was filmed, I'm really glad that there was no music at all in the background, so that it felt organic.
That is one of my truly biggest pet peeves.
Yes.
When a found footage horror movie that supposedly supposed to be unedited by whomever found it has diegetic music. Like, nothing upsets me more than that.
And it adds, to not only makes it more organic that there's no music, because there wouldn't be in a Zoom,
right?
but also it adds to the jump scares continuously being effective, because usually what the music is there for is to set up a jump scare
Yes.
happening, right? And so there's this big play of music, this fortissimo of sound, and then it drops and you know that the scare is coming. But I feel like they did this with what Jamie was talking about, the arguments that were happening. And so and I want to point out when Haley gets pulled, the chair gets pulled away from her. And that was coming right at the top of an argument that they were all having together. And then to break from the chaos of that into her chair getting slid away, which I also would want to know how that happened, because that was very cool as well.
That was very cool.
But that just added to the jump scare of it all. It's like this building of tension and then something happening. And I also love how this movie goes from like 0 to 100. Like Brian said, there's not a lot of exposition. We don't need to know exactly what's happening with these people. It's just by how they're reacting to the seance, we know what kind of people they are. Like, who was it? It was Emma or Caroline, who was scared to do the seance in the first place. And so we know like about her personality, because she's already like, y'all, I don't even want to be here. They
showed us. They didn't tell us a lot, and that was appreciated.
Exactly.
This movie never treats us like dummy faces.
Yes. And I feel like it's you know, it's the right length to not have to say all this stuff about who everyone is and what is the beef between Haley and Gemma. It's like, no, you just see it in how Haley reacts to when Gemma does whatever, even like
totally
regularly talking. You're like, oh, there's something going on.
And like the fact that this is only 56 minutes because they only have an hour on their Zoom or whatever it is, like that also adds to not only like a little bit of levity to it, but it like that, like Jamie said, like that was real. Like that, like very much is like of the time, if you will.
Of the time, but still also so just like adds to how we experience horror in new fun ways. So like even though this movie is of the time, it was a great way to do a version of found footage that is like, even though it's stuck in 2020, it's still a fun watch regardless of like how far removed from 2020 you might be, because it's a cool way to present a horror movie just over there.
And it's also interesting to think that this is a period piece, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's wild. Like we know exactly what was going on in the world, what was happening. Like it's, and I also did love, just speaking of the quarantine of it all, when Gemma did break into Haley's house and they still didn't even get close together. They just elbowed, touched each other.
Yeah.
It's like, girl, y'all have a demon after you. Like, I don't care about this disease right now. Why are you giving just an elbow? Like, go grab her.
Also, like, the boomer dad not really caring and going outside and doing things anyway.
Yeah.
Like there was just so much good stuff in there that wasn't overly explained. It just was, because that's what the experience of the time was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like even if years from now, if people are still watching this movie, I don't feel like they would question too much of like, why I feel like it still explains itself very well, like enough to still
it's an excellent time capsule, like truly.
Which I think is why I also just like really liked it. But I'm trying to go through and make sure that was all of my likes. I wanted to know what happened to the medium, but I'm just gonna assume that she also just like her fate was with everyone else.
That's a scary moment when when something falls and she leaves the Zoom, so good. Oh, also leaving a Zoom to get a package, like that happens all the time. Yeah, totally.
The knocking, she's like, "Oh, it's my food delivery."
That was so funny.
Yes.
Also,
absolutely.
a horror movie like this that allows you to laugh that early, when something like this gives you permission to laugh, that also makes it scarier because you know it's not taking itself too seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's that flip side of it when shit does hit the fan and you're like, oh God, okay.
Yeah.
One of my biggest gripes was, and I think Jamie kind of like hinted at it too, was the whole Teddy situation. Like he hops back on the Zoom, and I'm like, is this spirit like traveling through internet connection like to get to
Well,
Teddy?
Teddy was there when they started the circle. So Teddy
Fair.
leaving to break the circle is also part of the vulnerability of everybody there. That's my explanation for it.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that because you're not supposed to break the circle.
Right.
But I still was just like, this dude is hopping back on, and all this stuff is hitting the fan. Emma's like underneath the covers, and he's just like, what's going on? But other than that, though, it's a great watch. I love it. Brian mentioned the credits at the end being the Zoom participants. I thought that was so smart. And yeah, it's just the mechanics of filming over Zoom and not leaving anything out or changing anything, because we're all familiar with what Zoom is. So like, let it be what it is. So
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
nice that there wasn't any changes to it to where you'll be like, that's not how Zoom works, or that you could never do that if
Totally.
you were over Zoom. You never think that. You're like, yep, this is exactly what it is. Even down to the trade-off of the phone to the laptop.
Oh, at the beginning? Yes.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
And getting that feedback, and then you got to like exit out of one to, get into
totally.
another. But yeah, it's great, and I loved it, and this is the upteenth time that I've seen this movie, but also because it's so short. It's short and fun and effective, and the jump scares, they still get you. So it's
Love
good
it.
stuff. Producer Brian, what about you?
Sure. This is only my second time watching it, actually. And just as good. This is like a 5-star movie for me. I think this is a perfect horror movie for many different reasons. We mentioned a lot of those reasons. Like, it just kind of starts. I think it's impeccably acted, like genuinely. I also have issues with our ironing board staying straight up, so I understood the ironing board problems in this film. Like, it used all the technical issues that we would go through on, like, it just like understands Zoom in a way that is very delightful. I really like their conversation, but now you have to hide a cough with a fart, not the other way around.
Yes.
Yeah, like the beginning with the slices of life, like the dad and like they moved in with their boyfriend too early, like that didn't feel like exposition. That felt like something that really would happen during that time. This movie really makes you feel like you're the other Zoom friend. Like, it does an excellent job of that. And I think maybe just for us, because we're American, putting Haley as the main character, American, in like everyone else being British, I actually think that adds a meta source of tension, because like she's trying to like put this together for all of her presumably newer friends, maybe a couple years. Like there's this like outsider feeling to it, even though they're very accepting, like, and like nothing feels weird about the fact that, but that just adds like this meta tension to it that I really appreciated. The vape for the music box when he's trying to create like a vibe and an aura was like very, I thought that, like, all that stuff is fun. I deeply felt Haley's anxiety when Teddy like questions her, asks her like the like very obnoxious question, and they're all like, "Can I talk to my dog?" And then when Gemma's talking about her friend Jack, like I could feel her anger at her friends and embarrassment.
And that drinking game for astral plane,
The astral plane, like, what is it called again?
Right.
Salen went through the rules very quickly. Like, but that's her business. Her jump scare is amazing. The delivery knocking was so funny. And I like that because Gemma opened the portal. I like that her candle goes out first in her room. I really enjoyed that little detail. Also, Haley, like, go turn your lights on. Like, why you walk around your home
In the dark.
in the dark, like turn the lights on.
Please.
Girl. A panic wee, great use of a phrase.
Yes.
Panic wee is great.
Mhm.
The tension when they're not together is amazing. I don't know what that means, but the tension when they're not together is amazing.
Maybe when they all left and it was just us looking at the empty rooms.
Yeah, I think that may have been it.
Mm-hmm.
The upgrade to extend your time pop up at the end was so funny and so real. And then yeah, I just think this movie is impeccably directed, acted. The tension is amazing. And you know, being further out from lockdown and COVID, like I don't know, this movie really landed even more this time maybe. Than it did like when we watched it when we were actually in lockdown. Yeah, I think, and my favorite, I think my favorite like kill slash attack is the filter, the face filter, and like the filter picking up on an energy in a room is fucking brilliant and spectacular. That's my favorite one of those for sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
God forbid if another lockdown happened, would y'all do anything different this go around?
Well, I think we'd have a very different experience because we're not in a 1.5 bedroom in the middle of Brooklyn.
Also, that's true. You were in Brooklyn. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Would I do anything differently? Probably, because we kind of know how to handle it in some ways.
Yeah,
now.
That's fair. Yeah. I
like
just
I
think
wouldn't wear a
about
bandana to the grocery store like a fucking like bandit robbing a train.
yes, and we have more access to things too, right, than before.
Yeah, the world is built to do that again, essentially,
Exactly.
because we built it during that time.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is still just so wild to me that we all experience that as a
it's
collective,
wild. It's crazy.
Yeah. Great.
Like I would, if I were, this is not my suggestion of a movie, but if we're talking about like that time, I actually think if you pair Host with Contagion, I think that those are like really good. Like if someone needs like, what was it like during that time? Like I would give them Host and Contagion.
Yeah, I definitely watched Contagion like maybe a month into the pandemic.
Yeah, we did too. It was on HBO.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, let's. But
it's wild how accurate that movie was in terms of what we'd actually experienced versus what, you know, the disease, the virus in that movie is probably worse than COVID was, but like the steps and everything was, I mean, it's pretty wild.
I mean, there's lots of movies that are trying to prepare us for the possibility of things, and I'm just going to throw iRobot out there because get
okay. Sure.
Get it together. What are we doing here? Why are we trying to create? Oh my God, Her. Yeah. Just all the things. I mean, if you want to really go there, Jurassic Park, because the way the world is happening right now, like.
Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, just the concept of just because we can do it, should we do it? Which that movie kind of like talks through.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Yeah.
Any last likes and gripes before we move on?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, great. Well, let's move on to brains. Tasty. We'd love to see it. Okay, so this whole movie obviously is about, you know, a seance. And so I just want to talk about, you know, kind of our obsession with what happens after you die. Haley said that she had been doing these seances pre-pandemic, so she was like super into them. So then it just had me thinking about, could you, Jamie, talk about maybe the differences in how you have seen people, whether it's your patients or people that you know, approach life based on how they feel about the afterlife or spirits, if there's any difference.
At first I thought you were going to say, can you host a seance for us right now? In which I would have said, I cannot.
No, I would have hung up.
No, absolutely. Same.
If Ouija boards aren't allowed in this house, like the movie says, like the Zoom makes the seance more vulnerable. Like, fuck that noise. No
Yeah.
fucking way.
Because we're not even like together. Yeah, absolutely not. No, no, thank
No.
you.
Yeah, we can't hold hands.
We can't hold
I would
hands.
be more interested in if I gun to my head, I would be more interested in an in-person seance than I
Signing
would.
us up.
No. Than I
Too
would
late.
a Zoom seance.
They're coming over right now.
For Thanksgiving. They're coming.
Yep.
They're hosting our Thanksgiving.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, Jamie, I just wanted to ask you, you know, if you've seen any differences in how people live their life based on if they do believe there's something outside of the physical life we have now, or if people are like, this is all I got, and so I'm going to live my life how I want to.
I think it's less about like the afterlife specifically, but I do think that a lot of people report that like faith plays a really big role in like their mental health and self-care, and like that is something that they view as like a support to them. And so I think that does inform how they live their lives, to the degree that like, you know, the things that you find that like bring you joy or that help you like regulate yourself are things that you seek out on a ongoing basis.
Yeah. And then a part two to that, it's, since we're talking about like belief systems and things like that, do you feel like that is helpful for just processing death in general, or do you think it could sometimes be used as like an avoidance to maybe processing like death or grief or whatever? And funny enough, I just saw an Instagram post that talked about spiritual bypassing.
Funny.
It's not funny. I'm so sorry. It's not. About spiritual bypassing and like how people will use scriptures to kind of bypass feeling emotions. So like if somebody dies, they're like, oh, well, we should be celebrating life because the scripture says blah, blah, blah about death and the afterlife, you know? And so it's like telling you don't be sad when it's like, well, somebody just died.
What's it called?
Spiritual bypassing.
So like you're bypassing the grief stage, essentially, like
Yes.
the healing. That's fascinating. I've never heard that term before.
My therapist has mentioned it, but then seeing this post, I was like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. But not only with like death, with like anything in life,
Sure.
like abuse or whatever. It's like, oh, well, God doesn't want divorce, so like stay in your abusive relationship, because so it's like, you know, just spiritual bypassing of
Oh, that's such an
things.
interesting term.
Right?
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. But yeah, Jamie, I just wanted to just ask, just in hearing that phrase really just like resonated with the question of belief maybe being avoidance, or do you think it still can be a helpful tool in processing like death and grief?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I've never heard this phrase before. And so I was looking at it because I find it really fascinating. And I like, part of it feels like, well, from like a step back, I think that in some ways, like having certain beliefs can certainly lead to avoidance, but I feel like that's like kind of a bigger, more general statement as opposed to like just mental health. And so by that, I mean like, how might people, you know, believe something wholeheartedly and that they refuse to like learn new information that could potentially like undermine that belief. So I think that's interesting.
Sure.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
Not wanting to
yeah.
learn new information. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. But I also wonder, like, is there something there that feels like almost like akin to toxic positivity, where it's just like, you know, kind of dismissing the negative things that we're experiencing, but like in a way that's like invalidating our emotional responses to things? Because like we're allowed to feel the way that we feel about things. Like that's just part of being a human person. And so until we are all taken over by iRobot robots, then like this is this is what it is. So
Mhm.
perhaps is like a belief system and faith being used to like diminish or invalidate or ignore some of those things? Sure, just like anything else could be. I don't think anything is inherently like bad. I think it's more of like how we use it. Like anything could be adaptive and coping, but like how often are we relying on those things to avoid dealing with like the underlying stuff that's still there? So that's where I would like propose a call to action of like, is this still really helping you? Or
Fair.
like, are you using this as a means to not have to actually address what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
So I hope that answered the
Yes.
question.
Yeah, you did. That's great. Yes, and so my next question has to deal with like just speaking of the word toxic, the toxic friendship energy in this group. So I just have like it's a very very generalized question, so my apologies. But have you found in your practice with people like is it harder to confront conflict amongst friends or like conflict amongst family? Because I just keep thinking of when was it Radina and the guy that she's staying with, but like they don't really want to talk to her about it, but they're talking about how it's a bad idea.
Sure.
Or they're talking about Teddy and the girl that he's with, but they're not talking to him
Yeah.
about it. So I guess it was just like, do you feel like conflict with friends or family is harder to talk about?
I mean, I definitely think that that's like so person dependent.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like some people have really like positive relationships with their family and they can confront them and like have healthy conversations. And vice versa with like friends. So I think it really depends on like how they relate to these groups. But like conflict across the board is challenging. I think one really helpful thing that therapy can do is like therapy is based on a relationship between your therapist and you. And so that also means that you get to like model and role play interpersonal relationships and conversations and conflict with your therapist because it's like the only space that has no other biases and like personal things that are coming into it to influence that conversation. And yeah, so like using that space as a way to kind of like explore what addressing a conflict might look like with family or with friends, or figuring out how to set boundaries around certain conversations, or you know, any number of ways that you might want to handle that situation. But that relationship can really help you practice that in a way where normally we're just like out in the world and like dealing with these things and it can feel really bad.
Do you have to offer that a lot? Like let's role play this and see what is the deal or your hesitation and maybe not bringing things up or whatever.
Sometimes I'll like ask a lot of probing questions to try to help them kind of figure out like what's their end goal and like what's the most likely scenario that might happen here. Just kind of like figuring out, or like even like managing expectations around like you might say X, Y, and Z, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like this person will hear you or like take what you're saying and apply it. And so also like managing expectations with that.
Nice. Yeah, that's helpful. And then my last question has to deal with Thanksgiving because gobble gobble.
Gobble gobble indeed.
And it seems like it's always a thing of, you know, going back home and especially now, like trying to have boundaries on conversations or like, you know, not wanting to be around certain members because maybe of certain different belief systems and all those kinds of things. So it can be an awkward, maybe toxic, like space for the holiday season. So my question to you is like, knowing when to kind of face a situation head on in that regards, or when the best option is to just kind of remove yourself and say, I'm not even going to put myself in that situation during the holiday season, without it feeling like you're just flat out avoiding what's going on. So I just wanted to get your like thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that, again, like, you're kind of navigating it based on the context and like as something is happening. I do think that, like, especially with holidays overall, like having like as much as you're able to, like, being proactive around like boundaries and things that you're comfortable with or not comfortable with, because like you never know obviously what conversations are going to come up, but like based on historical context you could probably guess some of the things that might be coming up. And so like how can you kind of prepare yourself for those things so that they're not catching you off guard that much, and then you can kind of decide, like, you know, I will address this in this moment, or it's not worth getting into with this person at this time. Like, they're not going to hear me. We're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
It's just going to be like it's just going to lead to more conflict.
Right. So truly, like, of course context matters, but like boundaries are always helpful.
Yeah, we love boundaries.
We love a boundary.
Boundaries.
Get bounded.
Not get bounded. 50 Shades of Bounded? Okay. Great. That's all that I have for brains. Should we rotten tomatin this?
Yeah, let's try it.
Yes.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game.
I mean, what do you think this has on Rotten Tomatoes? Nikisha, why don't you go first?
I'm floating between 92 93. I'll go 93.
Jamie?
90.
98.
Oh, that's great.
That is great.
The popcorn meter, though, is 71. Still fresh. But, yeah. Agree to disagree, popcorn.
Yeah. Y'all tripping.
Lean, suspenseful, and scary, Host uses its timely premise to deliver a nastily effective treat for horror enthusiasts. I would also say for everyone.
Yeah.
Not just
a good
horror
film.
enthusiasts. All right, what do you think this has on the Letterboxd?
I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna go 4.0.
Jamie?
3.6.
A 3.2.
What is wrong with? I'm sorry. What is wrong with y'all?
I don't know.
Tell them. Comfort them. Get them.
Right.
So here are the top 3 reviews for Host. At number 3, the awkward elbow bump they did to remain socially distanced while being attacked by demons was the funniest shit I've seen in my whole life.
Thank you.
Good one. At number 2, these bitches out there getting attacked by a demon at the same time they're taking the pandemic more seriously than most people I know.
Actually, damn. Yeah.
Oops.
And then the most popular review is, this is what every Zoom call feels like when you have anxiety.
Oh my God, yes.
That's funny.
Well, that's good.
All right. Should we do the 4 S's?
Yes.
Skull, Scare, Shakes, and Suggestions. The Talking Horrors 4 S's.
The 4 S's are skulls, scares, shakes, and suggestions. Skulls is how well this handled mental health and human behavior, 1 through 10. Scares is how scary was it. Shakes is, will this stay with you? Is this going to leave you as a one and done? And then we'll do suggestions after we do those. Jamie, why don't you start off with your numbers, please?
Sure. For skulls, I'm going to give it like a 7.5.
Nice.
All right.
Just for, like, you know, some of the interactions that they're having with one another. Feels pretty realistic. Although I do think that they like all kind of calm down too quickly. And they should stay on high alert.
Sure.
Yeah.
For scares, I'm giving this a 3.5, perhaps because I've seen it several times over. But again, like, I think that the scares are really effective in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And for shakes, I'm giving this an 8. This is something that has really like latched in my brain in a good way since seeing it for the first time. And again, you can't go wrong with like a 50 something minute movie.
No,
Exactly.
you cannot. Never. Nikisha.
Yeah, mine are similar. I have a 7 for skulls, but I have a 6 for scares. It's just always gonna, the end's always gonna get me. And then shakes, I'm gonna give it an 8. It's just such a solid movie.
Cool.
Actually, I changed that. Nope, I want to give it a 9. Sorry,
all right.
backtrack. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Nice. I'm very similar to you all. I gave it an 8 for skulls. I just think that there's something so real about how they use Zoom and interact. Like it's all that. Scares, I give this a 6. On first viewing, I probably would have given a 7 or an 8. But this one I'll give a 6. This is a 10. This is a pure 10 movie for me. This is a great horror movie.
Yep.
And I think about it all the time. Every time I log into Zoom, I think about it. If somebody asked me to, what are some really good like found footage or screen life movies? This would be at the top of the list, like so consistently. I just think everything about this is great. This is a 10 for me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that also makes me think of? Just screen movies or whatever. The awful one with Ice Cube that came out. Was that this
War of the
year?
Worlds? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's made by the same Screen Life people. Even though
it's
bad.
Sure. I hope that the screen life stuff is good in it.
Right, but like, yeah, everything else.
Yeah.
Just,
Down the tubes. Nikisha, why don't you start with
You
your
say
suggestions?
down the tubes?
Yes.
The internet tubes. There was another random screen life movie that I watched that was over Zoom, and it was these friends that take Molly while they're on Zoom together. It's called Safer at Home. It's definitely not as good as Host, but if you just want more screen life quarantine movies in your life, this one includes Molly. So there's that.
Molly.
It's called Safer at Home.
Yes. Safer at Home. So Brian's interest is peaked. He's like, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna add it to my watch list on Letterboxd. Not promoted.
Yeah.
Not promoted. Cool, Jamie.
So mine is like not all screen life stuff, but another like similar technical whatever. It's Cam.
Yeah.
It's a really enjoyable
It's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Nice.
I've got a few. I think you should watch the Unfriended movies.
Oh yeah.
They're
I was
both
thinking about
great.
that
too. One of the
time.
better screen life movies is Missing.
Oh yeah, of course.
Then if you want like a different take on a subgenre, I would suggest this year's Presence, as told from the point of view of the ghost. So I would suggest that. And then my last one, controversial pick, because I think it's well directed, and I think it's really there are some really great aspects of it. But the main character is one of the worst people in the entire universe. It's Rob Savage's follow-up to this, which is Dash Cam. The main character is awful. It's actually hard to watch this movie because of how fucking awful and terrible and what a total miserable fucking human being this main character is. But it's a really impressively directed movie, screen life wise. So that's why I gave all the good ones before I gave this one.
Just letting the people know.
Yeah, like I think it's a weird experience, like because we watched it and we were just like, this character.
It was very hard to watch.
Okay. Yeah, she's awful.
Yeah, but just a really hard to watch Protagonist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well
Well directed.
Well directed. Really well directed. Just like this one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
Cool.
Well, that wraps up our episode of Host. You can follow us on.
I hope you're all stuffed.
Right. Yes.
From our
you can find
opinion.
us on the sorry, I can't even talk now. You can find us on the socials, Instagram and TikTok at Talk Horror Pod. And producer Brian, where can they listen to us?
You can listen to us wherever you get podcasts. So YouTube, hi YouTube. You can also find us wherever podcasts are being podded. So that includes Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us there. 5 stars, please.
And
Thank you.
Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Jamie just
Happy
dove
Thanksgiving.
into the pool.
Woo!
And remember,
I dove into the gravy.
The gravy.
Oh,
Gravy,
it
baby.
is a
Gravy
boat.
boat. It is a boat.
And just a reminder to the people to, if you need to, take that panic wee.
Yes.
And
as somebody who always pees, you gotta take your panic wheeze. I think we should end. End now.
That is excellent. Thank you for that. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.